go wrong tryna. I can't go wrong trying to make things right. You know what that's like when your heart's on ice. Doubled in price, swear on man's life. Don't speak the language to me, that's a see man sign strictly off the hype. Picking a side, help me to the side. Without the advice, I promise I'm fine. Like, look, I've been doing alright. Devil in details, God in the picture. Sounds like scripture, the lifestyle 8.5 on the Richter scale. The economy's dodge all the mixer.
Golly, this is where we're at, man. I appreciate you guys tuning back in for another video. And today I'm gonna train some back. That's gonna be kind of the focus of today's story, if you will. But yeah, man, just one of those days. Tough week, good week. Tough weeks, you always learn the most, you know what I'm saying? Just on everything. But training wise, things have been steady. I've been maintaining my weight, mid 170s, happy with my physique. Now it's just about keeping on the muscle while I maintain this level of leanness. So this is the last week in my mesocycle of training. So if you're following the training program that I use in the training app, you'll notice this week again is everything to failure and a couple drop sets in there. These last couple weeks where I dial up the intensity the most, because I'm not always training like this. It gets hard to recover from week after week, but I'm able to dial it up for a week or two at the very end. And then next week is gonna be a deload. So just training like 3 days, 50% of most the weight I use, maybe half the amount of total sets per muscle group. And then that just allows me to kind of drop fatigue, resensitize, and then hit it hard with a new training split going into the following week. So that's where I'm at with my training. It's a good week to have a tough week, especially at the end of a mesocycle, because yeah, everything's partial reps, training past failure. It's a good way to get out a little bit of extra frustration sometimes. But man, it's all good. I feel like you guys always catch me either on and it's on me, it's not on you, but I feel like I'm always recording a YouTube video and a sit down talk either after like a night where I wasn't sleeping, was stressing about something, or just kind of like going through it in a smaller way during the week. But you know, that's real, it's part of life, it is what it is. And sometimes my energy is low, but it's a blessing because usually the reason my energy is low is just because I'm trying to push on so many different fronts and I have so much opportunity in front of me that it's not necessarily overwhelming, but it's just like when things require so much of your effort and your energy, you know, it's gonna show. You know, you're not gonna be, you know, have that kind of like spark per se. It might be a spark, but it's just it's like a little steady flame. You know, it's not as crazy. So just keeping things steady, man. Not letting the lows get too low, not letting the highs get too high. Trying to keep it consistent. That's the motto right now, man. I'm out of rice cakes, I'm out of fruit. I was like, all right, it's just gonna mix a little scoop of protein with some water, because I hadn't tried that flavor. And it was good, so I don't know how long these will be in stock, but there's a couple limited flavors dropping from Raw this week. You're seeing the video, it's probably already out. But the protein, it was like Neapolitan, and those little flakes you saw in there were like ice cream cone flakes, which was pretty bomb, and the macros are still on point for the protein since it's an isolate, and I'm able to drink that. Now I don't have any digestion issues, because for me, man, if I drink a glass of milk, it's over. It's over. Nothing's getting done, whether I slept or not. And then the pre-workout is lychee. I think I'm pronouncing that right. I don't know what that is. I'm assuming some of you probably know. Most of you probably don't know. So I'm gonna try that for the first time before I train. So I'll let you guys know after the session when we connect back how that flavor is. But it's the same formula that I take for pre-workout from them. So it's their Thavage line of pre-workout. Not too much caffeine, a little bit of pump, a little bit of focus. Golly, one day at a time. But now things are all smooth. So I'm gonna take you guys through my training session. Again, if you're following in the training app, you already know how this week is going. And I'll catch you guys after the session.
Floating on water.
Golly, man. All right, we're just gonna get into it. It's honestly, it's like just over a week since I trained that back session. So that was midweek in that last week of the mesocycle. I'm training hard, going to failure, doing drop sets, hitting the weighted pull-ups, then going into body weight pull-ups, and just going ham, man. And it always feels great to train hard and then know that the little bit of extra recovery is coming, which is where I'm at this week, midweek. Just wrapped up a little leg session, mostly cardio today. Subbed out a little bit of time on the stair climber for some boxing on the heavy bag. I'm trying to learn, slowly getting there. But nonetheless, man, it's I could have, but I just wasn't in the mind frame to sit down and record a proper ending to this video. Even if it's just to touch on training and wrap things up. And like even that little meal I made, I do it pretty much every other night, but that was a few days ago. Like I recorded that and I was like, all right, I'm gonna finally sit down and do this. And just mentally, I wasn't there in my mind. I was just kind of going through some stuff. At least for me, I don't know how you guys are, but if I hit some roadblocks in what I'm trying to accomplish, like with my career and with work, if some things happen, and nothing that I can't work through, but things are going slower than normal, or I take some setbacks and take some losses, which is a normal part of life, and if anything, those moments, these moments are the most important because they really show your character. Anybody can have that can say they have strong character and strong values when things are smooth, but you really find out who you are when things aren't as smooth, when you're facing, multiple difficulties from different angles. That's the moment to, even though it sucks, try to be as present as you can in it, and that's what I've been trying to do the last couple of days, and I finally kind of got my stride. And it always helps to have good people in your circle. So I've been lucky to talk with a friend about it a little bit and share kind of what each of us is going through, because sometimes that just someone to listen and that little bit of perspective, you're like, all right, come on, you need that other person to show you what's possible. So I'm very grateful for that. And sometimes you just need a little bit of time too to get there yourself mentally. So most of your day is probably the same, at least for me. When I think of a circumstance I'm going through, like I'm still kind of got to do the same stuff most days, whether it comes to what I'm putting in my body, my training, what my workload is for the day, what my general routine is. It's usually the same, but my mindset going through that day can look very different, based on what I'm letting in and what I'm letting get to me. So like I said, it's just a good opportunity to go, okay, this sucks, but I'm grateful for it because it's me being able to just look in a mirror and go, okay, how am I gonna respond? How am I gonna be day to day? How am I gonna show up for myself, the people around me, even though this is going on and this is really kind of weighing me down? Who am I now? Am I who I say I am? Get to a point in your day where you're like, or your week, and you're like, man, whatever, forget it. I'm just gonna eat some food I enjoy because I'm stressing about this or that, and that's cool. You might get a little bit of temporary relief, but you got to try to think through that, because in the end you get a little temporary satisfaction, but then by the time you're done eating, now not only, at least for me when I think about it, I'm like, now not only are my problems still there, but now I got to figure out how to do some extra cardio or tighten up, with whatever, because I just ate more than I should have, or outside of what I wanted to eat, and so now it's just I'm not only am I not helping myself, I'm actively hurting myself, because now I'm creating one more problem, almost self-sabotaging, and the mindset in the moment is like, nah, just like find some temporary relief. But man, that's that little demon on the shoulder whispering to you like, oh, come on, man, just go get something sweet today. Like, you've had a rough day, get something sweet, you deserve it. Like, nah, man, you gotta, that's not conducive to anything positive, because then the inverse of that is, okay, you have that stuff isn't going well, you have that temptation to cheat on your diet or whatever it might be, and you feel that and you're conscious of it, and you go, you know what, I am conscious that this would be the easy decision right now, but I'm gonna stay locked in and focus on what I can control in this situation, which is, the little tasks I gotta show up for, whether it's, work or a relationship or your nutrition or your training. And it's like, all right, I'm just gonna keep focusing on what I can control and build some momentum that way. And then, especially when you realize how easy it would have been for you to slip off and how tempted you were, to have that gratification, the satisfaction of going, all right, I was tempted, and I had every excuse to cave, but I didn't do it. Man, it's those little decisions, man, that starts kind of turning around the mindset in the short term, and you start building momentum faster. So that's just kind of how I work through things when I'm hitting slow periods or periods where something's going on. I might be in my head about something. It's just finding those little wins, and again, back on that method of that mindset of just focusing on what you could control. I think it's important to just set up your whole routine, whether it's reading, taking some time to meditate, pray, train, stay on your diet. All those things that's what they're there for. They're there to kind of keep you grounded. So when things get shaky, all right, I'm gonna go back to my routine. What can I control? All right, I just gotta knock out this, and this, and that. I know if I could do that as best I can, as consistently as I can, that's it, man. I'm gonna be unshakable. You keep going. Yeah, man. That little post-workout meal that I'll do. Sometimes I do it after the gym. Although a lot of times I'll do those burritos you guys probably see me eat from the meal prep company I work with. So I'll do the burrito and then, kind of savory, and then switch to something sweet or sweeter for the next meal with those little rice cakes. And those are money, especially if I do 2 scoops of protein. We're at 50 grams of protein with about 50 carbs. So kind of moderate on the carbs, and then, fat, I could either go virtually no fat if I don't do the peanut butter, or maybe I do a tablespoon. So we're sitting at like 15 grams or so, something in there. Next video, I'll be on a new mesocycle. So if you guys are following the training split in the training app, which is the workout of the week. So to clarify, that training split, I update every week with what I'll be training personally that week. And it follows, kind of the whole mesocycle structure. So we build an intensity before taking the deload, like this week. So if you are interested in jumping on that, next week is a good week to start. So whenever you're seeing this video, this is probably like toward the end of the week. This coming Monday, after this video drops, the new mesocycle, I'll have the new mesocycle programmed into that workout of the week, and it'll be a good split, man. I got some good sessions, some good combinations of movements planned for this one. So hopefully I see you in there. If you just want to try it out, you're like, man, I don't know if I'm ready to be consistent, whatever. You just want to get your feet wet with it. You don't know if it's for you, because there's tons of different styles of training out there. The first week is free, so if you go through the little sign up and everything, download the app, you're set for the first week, no strings attached. So I'll leave the link below for that in the description, as well as supplements you guys see me use. I link those in the description of these videos as well. So I do work with these companies, and they put out some good stuff. And I think they're running, actually I know they're running 20% off for sure, all protein. It might be site-wide for a little bit of time, so I'll throw my code in there for that 20% off too if you catch anything. And other than that, that's enough of me promo and stuff, but I don't know. It's stuff I believe in. It's stuff I take every day. Otherwise, you don't hear me talking about it. So I appreciate you guys rocking with me. I always appreciate seeing your comments, and golly, man, we keep going. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.